Hi everyone, hope you're all doing really well. Just coming through now. Just put my party lights on, needed cheering up. But I need to talk to you about something. Lend me your ears, people, lend me your ears. Right, I want to talk about when God didn't stop the Assyrian army from taking the Israelite people away into captivity. He never stopped them, but he could have done. But he chose not to. And we know why, don't we? He'd lost patience with them. And so, as cruel as what the Assyrians were, God allowed his once chosen people, his very special people of the past, he allowed them to be scattered and dispersed and taken into captivity. What happens in the time of the end if God allows Russia, China, and Iran to launch an attack on the current world power, Anglo-America, NATO forces, and God allows them to have this tit for tat? You've heard that word, it's an English word. Tit for tat. One does something, the other does something back on an equal sort of plateau, equal measure. And then the first one decides to up the ante and take it one step farther, and then the opposing enemy, they up theirs as well. And that's what I mean by tit for tat. But what happens if God allows that to happen? Because it all goes to serve his purpose in the long run. Because eventually he has to let the world know who his favoured people are. There'll be a lot of disappointed people who perhaps still think that they are the chosen people, like the Jews, which they are not the chosen people. They were in a very favoured position, but they found a way to ruin it. But what happens if God allows China and Russia and Iran to do the early removal of the beast system? Although they are part of the beast system, they are part of this axis of evil, all of them, and they're all probably doing the will of Satan. But what happens if God decides to use humankind and the powers on the earth to do a certain percentage? Bearing in mind that that's what he's done in the past. He's allowed certain armies to trample over his people, his once favoured people. So this is telling me quite a lot now. If he's prepared to do that, well, it could be some time during, this confrontation could drag on and drag on. But can the economies take it? I mean, the economy is going to get absolutely battered, isn't it, if we go into a war? I mean, will I still be going to work as an engineer if we're at war with Russia and China and Iran? Will I still be going to work? Will I try and carry on a semblance of normality when clearly I know it won't be? And will food be rationed? And is this why the Bible says that gold and silver will become worthless? Because what's more important? Food and water. You can hardly eat gold bullion. You can't eat a diamond ring. That's not going to keep you alive, is it? I mean, what was more important during the famine years of the past in Egypt? It was certainly not the Pharaoh's riches. It was having enough food to feed his household. And the same with the slaves, the Israelites that were in enslavement. It was... so where is this going? Where is it really going? Everybody expects that this is just not going to end well. There's going to be some kind of altercation on a huge scale before we get to the actual nitty-gritty of this pseudo peace and security thing. I mean, that's just going to be like giving someone a rubber check. Here you go. Here's peace and security, world. Oh, it's a rubber check. It's going to bounce. I don't think you can trust anybody. Is that the way we've become? That we just can't trust anybody? Are we going to be shutting ourselves away? There's a lot of things don't make sense. I mean, it's gone quiet about Ukraine, hasn't it? Now Israel started up. I mean, is Taiwan going to be next? Does anybody sense that there is a real powerful force that is just manipulating us all? That's how I feel. I'm not talking about Satan. He does what he does. I'm talking about a human powerful force that wants war in Ukraine, wants war with the Middle East, and soon will want war with Taiwan. Is the whole world gone mad? Does the whole world only want war? Where's all the peacekeepers? I know there's been marches, 150,000 in London, but it just seems as if, there's some evil force that is just pushing for badness all the time. That's how I feel. That's how it feels. I can't get any sort of peace in my mind at the moment. Maybe it's because I'm not working, I'm not concentrating on work, and I'm off, having a few days off. And maybe I'm overthinking it. But you just do get the feeling, don't you, that that the most powerful people in this world, who seem to be orchestrating everything that is going on at the moment, and if they want confrontation here, they're going to have it. Are they working to a plan? I told you I'm overthinking it. But surely they have to be working to a plan. So by 2030, will this plan be realised? Absolutely. You can't get your head around it. But you do get the feeling that China, they've been trying to stay out of it up to now, but I said 5 years ago, Russia and China, watch it happen. Because they'll only put up with so much. And I've heard a little rumour that they're sending some warships to the Mediterranean. China are. Oh my God, this is my dream. This is that dream I had back in the 70s. Where all the fighting nations come together. They send their ships, they send their planes. And it's just one big free-for-all, almighty battle. And then out of the sky comes this celestial force. And they're all looking up like that. They're on board their ships. And so America's looking up, the UK's looking up. And they see what they can't see properly. You know, it's not a proper vision, but they know that there's something there. And just as they take their eye off it, they're gone. Like that. In a blink of an eye, all the ships, all the men, all the planes, everything. Hundreds and hundreds of soldiers just evaporate like that. But they don't see it coming. But they knew there was something in the sky, they just couldn't quite see what it was, because it just wasn't sort of truly visible to a human eye. But they got the feeling that there was something moving across. And it was the last thing they saw. But they didn't stop there, you see, this powerful force. They never stopped with the military forces and Gog and Magog. That was just a start. They went to travel around the world and started to separate the sheep and the goats. And those that were found not to have had their name in the book of life, second death, of no resurrection. I told you I'm overthinking it. I'm going to stop there. It's like a scary film, isn't it?